So Jordan Welch did a video some time back about exposing the truth about Shopify dropshipping. And he exposed some of the flaws and why dropshipping is a flawed business model, okay? It's a great video, you should watch it. In this video, I'm actually going to show you why I agree with him, but also I'm going to show you three great business models that I actually recommend for if you're pursuing a side hustle, okay? So if you don't know Jordan Welch, he's a great YouTuber, that's done a lot of drop shipping videos and kind of online business building videos, which I personally find these videos to be quite fun, as do hundreds of thousands of people, all right, and if not millions of people, and so his content is really something to look into. But one of the funny things about this, okay, is like when I was looking at some of the stuff that he has done in the past with drop shipping or that kind of online business, was you could certainly see that there are places in that business building thing that you could optimize. And so coming in with my product marketing background, with my marketing background, like I could see like, okay, you could do this and that, like you could make this a much more profitable business by adding these other moves to it. Now he's a smart, astute businessman. Like give him that. He's a much more successful businessman than I personally. So he's very smart with how he's doing his business. Um, and so I don't want to knock him there. Like he's really smart. But in this particular video that I'm discussing, he actually admits that, hey, this drop shipping stuff that I have been showing you guys how to do is actually a flawed business model because of it's got certain weaknesses. So for me, looking at this video, I think it was a good video in the sense that he actually kind of laid bare some of the shortcomings of the dropshipping business model. So let's just jump into some of those, by the way. And this is why I agree with him. All right, is dropshipping. One of the flaws is that in a lot of cases, and this happens with a lot of dropshippers, you've never used the product yourself. You're literally selling, it's almost like vaporware. You've never used the product, you've never tested it, you have no idea if it's gonna kill the customer that's gonna try. For example, if it's some consumable product, you know, um, you hope that you're not gonna ship some canned stuff to the customer that's contaminated, because you're not shipping the stuff to yourself. A lot of drop shippers are not actually testing out any of these products before they ever use them themselves. If it's a toy for kids, they're not checking if the material is not toxic in some way, so that it's gonna actually harm the young kids that are gonna be using these toys. In a lot of cases, drop shippers are not testing the products themselves. They are trusting some guy or girl they never seen in China to ship out a high quality, good, safe product, which is not always the case, right? Like you've heard the stories about products being shipped out that were toxic or in some way dangerous and being harmful. So that's one of the shortcomings of the business model. Unfortunately, is since you can operate without actually ever looking at the product in person. That's exactly what unfortunately a lot of drop shippers do, is they just want to ship a quick thing, and they don't do the due diligence, right, to check. So that's a big shortcoming of the drop shipping business model. uh, and a second problem that Jordan sees with this business model is obviously that if you have a winning product, you find a winner, there's nothing stopping the next guy from just seeing what you're selling on your store and saying, "Oh, he's drop shipping that. It's working. I'm gonna go and drop ship the exact same product." And so, in literally a week, you could have 100 clones doing the exact same product, selling the exact same thing as you are. Um, if it's a hot product and it's really selling that well, that can happen. Now, I happen to think that this is a smaller problem than the first one, simply because, in a lot of cases, it takes time for people to start copying you. They have to be really tuned in, they have to be really on top of it, and they have to be, just as good at pushing it out into the market as you are. Like, your competition is not gonna be just some random people. It's gonna be other people that are in the market, that are in the know, are looking at the same products you're looking at. And sure, that can cut your margins down, but it's gonna be like by 5%, maybe 10%. It's not gonna be like the entire reason that your business fails, right? That somebody copied you, like. But maybe for like long-term scaling, that's where you would, potentially have some struggles. But it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Now that said, whilst I definitely agree with Jordan Welch, and I also think that dropshipping is a great business model to do, to kind of to get started with your side hustle, right? And so this is where I'm actually gonna share with you guys what I think are the three long-term side hustles that you should kind of do long-term, that that really work well. Three great business models if you're looking for a successful side hustle. And so the first one is doing e-commerce. And Jordan also recommends turning your drop shipping into a bigger e-commerce brand around what some particular successful product. I think that's a good approach. I also happen to like e-commerce as a side hustle business model. It's great because you're selling a product on the internet. You're not using your time to make money like you would be doing if you were doing consulting or a service-based business. So this is one advantage. Like, if you're busy with work, with your day job, this you can keep your day job and just run an e-commerce store, and it becomes a successful thing. Now, the thing with dropshipping is it's kind of like level one of e-commerce. It's the way that you get into e-commerce. You're dropshipping a product, but you don't have to stay there. There are more advanced levels of e-commerce where you are now keeping inventory. You're shipping products to your own warehouse, and this way you are doing quality control on the product. You're making sure it's safe and up to standard before you ship it out to the end customer. You are dealing with, you're now solving a lot of those problems that come with dropshipping. But understand, dropshipping is a good way to test out the product in the market without spending a lot on inventory early on. But if you really want to kill it and really succeed in dropshipping, in e-commerce, then you want to make sure like you're actually building up, around that, building up all these things like inventory, quality control, building up all these systems that turn that drop shipping into an actual business. Now, business model number two, and this is something that I personally do, right? Like, at the time of this video, promoting info products, I have a book that I wrote not so long back, and I'm actually documenting in a series how I'm marketing and promoting this book. Selling books or courses, membership programs, coaching programs, that kind of thing, info products where you're selling your information. That's a good side hustle that you can do, a really great side hustle business model. Side hustle business model number three is SaaS, software as a service. You do need to know a little bit about software. Like, I started out as a software developer. This was something like creating software products is something that I have done in the past for my own startups and businesses. And this is a great business model if you have kind of like a tech background. At least you know what you are doing when you're moving around technology. If you don't know how to code, you can actually just hire a software developer, but it's tricky. If you've never coded in your life, it's more tricky to get into software as a service. Even if you like the business model, it doesn't mean you can't do it, but it's a more risky side hustle for you than for somebody that already knows how to code, because it's more natural for the coder to just be coding on the weekend anyway, so they might as well focus that time on creating an actual product for the market. If you're a non-tech person, you might want to look at the two prior business models for a side hustle, which are e-commerce and info products. right? But it doesn't mean you can't do sales. I'm just giving you the details so you know where the risk and reward is gonna be, and be aware of that as you choose your own side hustle. So those are the three great business models that I really like and that I recommend for a side hustle. Now, in closing, guys, if you need some free resources to help you with growing your own side hustle, your own product sales, your own business, you can grab my free resources. The links will be in the description.